Hello and warmly welcome to today's and this week's episode of Type 1 Thursday with me, Hanna. You should know this by now that I do a live every week somewhere on social media or in two places at the same time on social media to discuss a topic about Type 1 diabetes that maybe you haven't discussed with your doctor or healthcare crew. So today, the very important topic is mindset and how mindset can help diabetes management, how it can definitely not help it, and also what difference it can make to your care, really. So as I define it, and these are my own figures, not at all based on my experience and to the people that I've talked to, the very many people that I've talked to about this. But I sort of see that 30% of success, basically having a healthy lifestyle, 30% is food and medicine. I see another 30% in other lifestyle factors, movement, hydration, sleep, all of these things. But then actually to make it, to make your healthcare a little bit more successful, I do see that there is a 40% need for mindset as well. So don't discount the mindset part, because it is very, very important, and maybe even more important than you know. How exciting is that? Fearing to get caught in this trap of constant perfection. No type 1 diabetic is always perfect. No health sort of care is ever completely perfect. We all make mistakes, and that's okay. And that's a huge part of realizing in this mindset thing. You have to be kind to yourself, and that is just the starting point. And do remember that all feelings that you have, whether it's about diabetes or something else you're trying to get a little better grip of, all feelings are completely and entirely okay. It's okay to feel them. It's okay to have them. They are all okay. So basically, there is this theory of that we flip-flop between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. I have a full-length presentation on this, which I won't bore you with today. Today is just the sort of snippets out of this that I found out and that I've from my research. So we basically flip-flop between these two depending on the situation, depending on what we're faced with, depending on a lot of factors. But as a sort of rule of thumb, a fixed mindset is that you avoid challenges and that you give up very easily. Making effort is actually a bad thing for you in this situation. You're just not talented. Why me mentality goes into the fixed one. And also you sort of run away from critique. You don't take to that very kindly. And also that you feel threatened by other people's successes. And I'm sure we can all recognize some parts of this in ourselves, in what we're doing and how we're reacting to things. On the other side of the fixed mindset is, of course, the growth mindset. And a growth mindset is where you seek challenges, where you keep trying even though you maybe fail sometimes. And you see making an effort as the key to actually making something a success. You ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation, rather than, why me and I'm not talented. Your motto is basically, I can do it, and other people's success is inspiring to you. These are the two sort of mindsets that we flip-flop a bit between, depending on how we react to things. Also, I think we are many who can recognize ourselves in the growth mindset. So it's not all bad. We're not just fixed mindset and everything is shit and why me and I don't want challenges and all this stuff. I think we all have parts of both, but I find it very interesting when we start paying attention to this, and I'm sure this is something that you can do, for example, in your diabetes management. How do you react to, for example, a bad number? Is it, why me? Or is it, okay, what can I learn from this, for example? And what mindset isn't, it is not a magic bullet of motivation. It is definitely not a shortcut to success, if anyone thought that. Mindset is nothing that we're born with, it's something that we learn. And mindset is not positive thinking. It's also not fixed. Like in these two categories, whether it's fixed or a growth mindset, you're never stuck in one. As I said, we flip-flop between both of them. And added to this, more specifically to food, is actually the diet mentality, diet mindset, which I just wanted to highlight it a little bit because I think it's so terrible for not just people with diabetes, but for anyone really who tries to look out for their health. But a diet mentality is basically where you see food as the enemy. You're focusing on my bad habits, or rather your bad habits, but you know that you have bad habits to break somehow, which is probably definitely not true. You're looking for temporary fixes, and you're focusing on what you don't like about yourself. How silly is that? That's not the way forward. The way forward is to focus on things that you do like about yourself and increase those, and maybe, you know, the other ones would follow. And this is where the diet mentality and diet mindset is where you're really, really focused on the scale, and that's where everything is happening in your life. And I don't feel like that is a good measurement of anything really, a scale. I threw out my own scale very many years ago, and I only weigh myself at the doctor's office because they require it. That's it. Otherwise, I don't really care what it says. It's some sort of arbitrary number on a piece of electronic machinery. It's, you know, or even if it isn't electronic, but on a piece of, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. So try to step away from the scale. Also, in a diet mentality, you of course think that you have a finish line, that you will have arrived at somewhere, whatever that means. And I'm only highlighting this because I think it's quite terrible, and it can offset the rest of your mindset work, which can be quite crucial in type 1 or diabetes management as a whole. This is also where we get to, how do you see setbacks? Are setbacks something informative to you? Do you draw information out of it? Basically going back to the growth mindset of, you know, what can I learn? I can do it. Or are setbacks a label on you as a person? Which is also silly, but we all sort of get to that point at some points of our life, and that's fine. It doesn't really, it's not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. So basically what success is, success, whether it's in health, whether it's in sports, whether it's in life in general, it is mindset plus learning and the willingness to learn new things. No one can do everything from the beginning. So we do need to learn in addition to our, hopefully, majorly growth mindset work. And how do you change your mindset? This can be a tricky one, but a few short tips is to start small. Don't, if you know the analogy of, you know, chopping up the elephant into small bite-sized pieces, basically eating the frog first. And that's how you get forward. So you can't see the whole picture first and sort of try to accomplish all of it at once. You have to start with the very smallest goal that you can imagine. Also, you have to think forwards. How will I feel in a week of doing this, in a day, in a month, in a year, in 10 years? How will I feel making this change for me? Provided that it is for you, but I would hope so, because otherwise it's not going to be motivating for very, very long. Which is actually my next point. You have to find what motivates you, because no one else can tell you what motivates you. You have to find that within yourself, and that's a very big part of the mindset work. And also, don't make excuses. It's all about prioritizing. It's not, you know, you can't say that, oh, I don't have time to check my blood sugar. Today, especially with CGMs and stuff available and these very fast blood sugar meters, it's really quick. It's just that you don't want to somewhere to do it. And so don't make excuses for yourself. And now I would actually love to hear from you at the end here. Have you noticed a change in your mindset, perhaps? Or perhaps do you need a change of mindset? Talk to me in the comments below, and I'll be happy to chat with you more there. Until next time on Type 1 Thursday,